Hi everybody, welcome to Early British Literature. I'm just wanting to record a little introductory video to kind of go over the syllabus and some basic things. So if you need to be knitting or crocheting or something as you listen to this, that's fine. I'm not going to be putting up anything. I'm just going to be talking you through the basics about the course. But first of all, I'm really glad that you're here. There's, I would say, over half of you who I already know, who I had the privilege of teaching before, and then another segment of you that I never got to teach yet, and I'm really excited to get to know. So thank you so much for signing up. Thank you for being here, and I am looking forward to a great semester with you. So on the Discord is posted in the introduction section our course syllabus. Now I'm going to post a separate video from my phone where I just kind of explain Discord and how to navigate our server. So I'm going to do that separately. But in this one, I'm going to assume that you've made it in and that you can see the materials that are there. And I just want to kind of go over some class basics with you. So for those of you who haven't ever had me in class before, I'm Professor Bolden. It is spelled funny, but it's pronounced just like golden. So Bolden. You can also just call me Professor B. And my office is in H221 in the Coffee McNally building on the Oak Ridge campus, if you're ever over there. But a lot of you are taking virtual classes because you don't ever plan on being on campus, and that's okay too. My office hours, when I'm like officially on the clock, are listed in another PDF that's posted in the introduction section of the Discord. And there's a couple of good ways to get in touch with me. One of them is to use my email address, boldenme@roanstate.edu, and it's there on the syllabus. Another one is my Snapchat, and my username it's on there. It's Mad Mags Fury Road. If you just look up Maggie Bolden, it should come up as well. I use Snapchat strictly for the purposes of my job. So I don't use it as a personal account. I might occasionally put a picture of my dog on there, but otherwise I will not bother you. I don't try to look into your private lives. Just don't put me on your private story, obviously. But students were actually the reason why I got on there. They harassed me into getting an account, and it's just easier for you sometimes, if you are a Snapchat fan, to reach out to me that way. Also, I won't necessarily always be like Johnny on the spot, like if it's like 1 a.m. or something, but I don't have Outlook email on my phone. I do have Snapchat. And so if you have like an immediate concern, like, hey, I'm trying to take the quiz and it's not loading or something, God forbid, Snapchat would be a good way to get a pretty rapid response. So either of those are great though. And the course information, pretty basic, you already know. It's an online, it's asynchronous. What asynchronous means is that I just put all the information out here for you to look at your leisure at any time during the week. And our weekly deadline is Tuesdays. So we don't have Zoom meetings. We don't have scheduled times where we're getting together. Tuesdays is just our deadline. So every time around Tuesday, I will post your new homework. I will post reminders about your old homework. And I will post links to the quizzes or homework reminders, basically, or depending on whatever is due that week. The quizzes for this class are going to be on a website that, and to tell you the truth, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it, but I had to find something pretty quickly, called Testmoz. It's Testmoz. You don't have to worry about it. You're just going to get a link every time it's time for a quiz, and you will go to that link. You will just type in your name, and I'll walk you through this the first time around. But you'll just type in your name and you'll type in the password. The password is English with a capital E, just to keep it simple. And I'll tell you this several more times. And then that's it. And you'll take the quiz and it'll tell you and show you immediately how you did, give you your answers, and explain anything that needs explanations. So Discord and Testmoz are the only things that we're using. There is no textbook. There is no reason for that because everything that we are reading in this class, with the exception of one short story, is in the public domain because it's so old. So that's a benefit of doing early British literature, is that it's all out there for free. So the rest of this chunk of the syllabus, stuff like learning outcomes, TBR, general education, all that, That's what the state of Tennessee wants you to get out of this course. So you're welcome to read over that on your own. Grading, the way that grading works, I'm just not overly enamored with numbers, so I make it as simple as I can. Everything in this course has a point value that adds up to 100, and that's it. It's the same thing with my comp courses if you had me for that. So there is a participation grade. It is 10%, and that is one whole letter grade. That's 10 points. The way that you get your participation points in this class is to participate in weekly discussion prompts that we will have. There may be a week or two here and there where we don't have one, where I'll say, hey, you've got enough to work on, you've got this project, don't worry about it this week. But generally, and there's a channel for it that says discussion prompts, generally we'll have a discussion prompt every week on Discord, and you will put your answer in there, and you can talk to each other and interact with each other if you like, or you can just do your answer and leave, whatever is more your speed. But that's how you earn that 10 points, just like discussing if we were in a real classroom. Tests is the biggest chunk in this class. So tests are 60%. You have 3 tests, and they're 20 points apiece. Projects are 20%. You have a few little projects throughout the term. Later on, you'll have a research presentation. That'll be in November. And then quizzes are 10%. So we do have reading quizzes. Basically, every time you have a reading assignment, you will have a quiz over it, and that'll be 1 point apiece. That's just to kind of keep you on track. But if you've had me, like for Comp 2, you already know that my reading quizzes are not meant to be cruel or punitive. They're 3 questions long, for the most part. If you get all 3 questions, you get a check plus. So you like automatically get bonus credit for the day. If you get 2 out of 3, you get full credit. If you get 1 out of 3, you still get half credit, and so forth. They're generally going to be multiple choice or true false. So that's how the quizzes work. But you will always have one every week. You can read the stuff on your own where it says readings. As far as ground rules for me goes, so late work, for quizzes, I do not allow quizzes to be made up. So when I post a quiz on a Tuesday, you have all day. I'll post it whenever I wake up, and then you have until 11:59 p.m. to take the quiz. So at the absolute latest, like if something went really wrong and I was sick that morning, it would be posted by 9 at like the absolute latest. And then you would have until 11:59 that night to take it. Because they're only a point apiece, I just don't allow makeup. Like if you miss it, we just move on with our lives. But there are plenty of extra credit opportunities throughout the term if you're worried about that sort of thing. But if it's for a project, and if you're late on a project, or if you're late on a major test, like if something happens and you're just like, yo dog, I forgot to take the test. Okay, I will allow you to make up a test or a project for half the potential credit. That's my late policy. So for instance, if you have a 5-point project and you forgot about it and it's late, the most you can get on that project is 2.5 points instead of 5. However, I don't consecutively count off points for how late it is. So like as long as you get it into me by the end of that curricular unit, I will still take it for half credit. So it's not like one of those things where for every day you miss, I'm taking off more points. But that's the lateness policy for this class. You can read number 2 on your own. You can read number 3 on your own. Number 4, I just have this thing called an open and honest communication policy. It's just a request from me that I will never, ever try to do anything that hurts your feelings. I am not a Professor Snape type of teacher. That is not my milieu. But it's just if I ever do something that does offend you or hurts your feelings, or if I'm doing something that you just think is dumb, if you're like, this class is dumb, or this assignment is dumb, or this quiz is dumb, all I'm asking is just give me the grace and the opportunity to talk with you about it first before you go over my head and complain to somebody above me. Because that's just better communication for your life beyond Roan State, but also it's better for you because it better enables me to fix whatever the problem is, and we can all just, work in a more harmonious way as a team. Because sometimes, this has never happened to me at Roan State, but in my old job, when people went over my head to complain, by the time it went through the 3 people in admin and then got back to me, I had no idea what the actual problem was because everything had been so kind of warped. So that's just a request from me. If you ever are upset about anything, whether it's personal or curricular, I try to be as approachable as possible, and you can just come talk to me about it first. And a lot of times, like, I do take student feedback, and if you feel like something, about the course does need to be changed, I will hear you out. Plagiarism and academic integrity, we'll talk more about this when the tests come up, but cheating on a test, my old boss used to say that it was like running into an 8-lane highway for a nickel, that the risk greatly outweighs the reward, and that is true. So if you cheat on a test in my class, and basically the form that most commonly takes is people just going on the internet and finding their answers from like Google or Wikipedia or other websites. Because I do actually, on my tests, they are open note. They're open book and open note. So during the test, you can use anything that I've given you. You can use the text, you can use any of the lectures I've given you, you can use any of the articles I've given you. So anything on our Discord you can use, but it's not open internet. I don't want you just going to Google. I want you to show me that you've read the material and that you understand it and kind of remember it. But you can still have it in front of you to navigate. But if people just go to Google and just copy paste stuff and steal stuff that's like, okay, clearly we never talked about this in class, I didn't give this to you, that is cheating. And I would have the right to give you an F in the entire class or an F in the test. So they just want me to remind you of what the plagiarism policy is. Obviously, that is a total hypothetical because we're not going to have those conversations this semester because you're all going to be a total delight. I can already tell. I can get the vibe. So not necessary, but just wanted to throw it out there. That's how plagiarism works. And we don't have to talk about absence policies because we're an online class. So there's that. You can do all this in your pajamas, in your SpongeBob pajamas if you wish. There's some other stuff that you're welcome to read. The only thing I would tell you is about the honors program at the end. If you are dead set on doing an honors project for this class, I will talk to you about that and I will work with you. It's not a super rewarding experience in a class like this, as opposed to Comp 1 or Comp 2. So I wouldn't necessarily encourage it. But if you are in a boat where you're like, okay, I have 5 out of my 6 honors courses and I really need to do one more, it's got to be this, then I will work with you if you want to do one for this class. I'm just kind of basically saying if you have any other choices, I wouldn't pick this one. It doesn't tend to work super well for the online lits as opposed to the Comp 1s and Comp 2s. So you're welcome to look at the rest of the syllabus on your own. I've got posted the schedule. And that schedule is basically your manual. It's your Bible for this class. So you will, as long as you follow that from week to week, you're going to be good. And then also in the Discord, I will be posting weekly reminders like, here's what we're doing this week. Here's what's due next week. Like, I'll be trying to reach you in both ways. But, if you ever get lost, that document, it'll stay in the introduction channel. It'll be right there always, and you can easily go and find it. And it'll tell you for the entire year what we're covering. So if you have any questions about any of this so far, feel free to let me know. And I don't want any of you, just because this is an online class and I don't get to see you in person, I don't want any of you feeling like you're in a vacuum, like you're just floating out in space. I still want to be there for you. So if you need to come see me in person, I'm there. If you need to send me an email, I'm there. If you want to talk on Snap, I'm there. Some people even like to do like video chats or voice chats. I mean, I actually tend to default to voice chats a lot because I have very kind of awkward thumbs. And so sometimes I can actually talk faster than I can type. Whatever mode of communication works best for you, I want to be here for you. It makes me really sad when people say, I'm taking an online course and I have no idea what's going on and the professor never talks to me. So I don't ever want you to feel like you're in isolation. Because I'm glad you're here. So Brit Lit, I just wanted to give a little primer on why I teach Brit Lit and why I love Brit Lit so much. It's not just about this one little island of Britannia in the Atlantic Ocean. If it was about that, you could pick any country to do a class on. The reason why we emphasize, or why I emphasize British literature, is because no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter your race, your gender, your identity, your cultural background, any of that, in order to be at Roane State and be in these classes, the one thing that we all have in common is that we all speak English. Now, it may not be our first language, it may not be our primary language, but everybody who's listening to this video speaks English. And English is a beautiful mess of a language that took in like hundreds and hundreds of different influences and then became something amorphous and kind of magical that behaves in ways that other languages do not, and that makes people want to pull their hair out, but also can accomplish things that I believe other languages cannot. And I think that's one of the reasons why it has kind of risen to global prominence. So British literature is, through narrative and through stories, which is one of our most basic human impulses, the study of the language that we all share. So we may not all share blood, but we all share a tongue. And these words that we speak didn't just drop out of the sky into our mouth like snowflakes. Like, each word that you know in this language, when you think about it and you study it, has an entire history and an entire ancestry and bloodline behind it as to how it got shaped into what it did. And I think that's fascinating. And there are certain things that happened in the history of the language that like indelibly changed it. And, you know, if not for those things, we might have been speaking a variant of French right now. So if I can send you out of this class with even just a small appreciation of that and of that influence and how our lexicon and our vocabulary and our communication changed over 1,000 years through these stories, then I will consider my job as being done. Also, obviously, on a practical level, you have to take a literature to graduate if you are getting an Associate of Science General degree. So since you have to take it, you might as well have done it with me. So I'm really grateful to have you in my virtual space. But that's why I'm passionate about British literature, because English, for better or for worse, however you feel about it, is something that we all share. And British literature is the story of why we speak to each other in the way that we do. So even if you think that Beowulf may not be super relevant to you, it is. It actually is, to your daily life. So if you have any questions, like I said, do not hesitate to let me know. I'm going to record another video here in a minute, facing the other way, facing my computer, to just kind of take you around the course, show you how it's set up. It's really pretty easy, actually, when you get used to it. I actually had to upgrade to Nitro so that I have enough file space to put all the uploads on here throughout the semester. But, I forgot what I was going to say, and I've already come so far. I'm 17 minutes in. I'm not going to re-record this. If you don't know this about me already, my memory is pretty wretched. Oh, I remember. I talked my way out of it. Your homework for the 23rd, because our class does not actually start until Tuesday the 23rd, since we didn't have a Tuesday this past week. Your only homework is just get logged in. Just get logged in. And so if you're watching this video, it means you're already here. You've done that homework. Your homework for the 23rd is just get logged in and look through the materials that I have posted. Just be in the class. One thing that I would ask you, and I've probably already said this in the email, but if you already have like a Discord username pre-existing to this, but it's really vague, like Master Chief Loves Cortana 69 or whatever, like if you could put like a nickname on the end of it, Discord will let you do that. Or just reach out to me and be like, hey, it's Justin. Like, I need to know who you are in order to take attendance and interact with you. So just make sure that I know who you are. That's all that I'm asking. If you don't pick a username that's like John Smith, Jeezy So Weezy, that doesn't really help me. So like, I need some kind of indicator as to who I'm speaking to. But anyway, I'll take you through more Discord stuff here later. But your homework for next time I will post and talk about on the 23rd, so that you have a week to get that ready. I have a kind of introductory self-inventory assignment for you before we actually even dive hard into the reading. But for the 23rd, your job is just get on Discord. Just get involved, get on the platform, and reach out to me if you need anything. I don't have any conferences for this class. For Comp 1 and Comp 2, I do have face-to-face conferences. I do not mandate those for the Lit class, but that doesn't mean that I'm not willing to meet with you if you want to do that. I'm happy to do that. So just let me know. For now, I'm recording this on Wednesday, so I hope that you all have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for your time, and I am anticipating lots of fun and learning this semester, so I'm glad you're here. Bye!